how to get everything set up on my end. Though it seems to be taking a hot minute. There we go. Lovely. Now, there was something that I had realized that I'd like to make at this point. But I also do need... We can put you on pause in favor of a bit of glass. And something with those lovely ingots I had picked up from our last adventure. I need you. What was the other thing called? This. Right here. Paper, telekill alloy, and book. Which I should have all that is necessary for, if I can find where I left all that paper. Unless I turned it all into documents. Seems that I will be short. Unfortunate, but I had started to grow. I do stream every so often. I'm trying to get in the habit of doing it a bit more. Once that paper's cooked, not paper, glass is what we keep in the furnace. Putting paper in the furnace is a fire hazard, to say the least. But I do need to obtain some more sugarcane, which shouldn't be too dreadfully difficult. And I feel that might aid us a bit in our excursions outside of Foundation walls. My day has been going swimmingly, especially since interruptions from Dr. Thompson will now be at such a minuscule level. I think he's scared quite good and locked himself away in his office at this point. Serves him right, if you ask me. He truly does deserve it. I've given him plenty of warnings, and, well, what can you expect from lying to the Foundation? All I hope is that he learns from this scenario. Quite the rude type when it comes to anomalies, if you ask me. I still don't believe I have quite enough for what I'm obtaining. It's been quite some time since I've genuinely gone out of my way to make paper. I suppose we'll see. There is sugar growing back by the home as well. Still disgusting to call any Foundation building home. I am not currently aware of those. What I am aware of is that I am quite enjoying that the Foundation allows me to use this for enrichment, although it's not nearly as nice as actually going outside myself. I would much prefer that. Oh, and we're visited by the lovely members of Task Force as well. I suppose I should extend a kind greeting to you, Johnny. As long as you don't get in my way, I suppose there isn't an issue with you being so close. Perhaps. Ah, lovely. Only watching, not going to intrude. Well, then I suppose then I'll play nicely. Now, only need 2 of these. I doing this the wrong way? There we go. Now, I'm unsure as to what these will get me to, but... Ah. Are you simply for crafting? Well, a little unnecessary given the additional mod I have, but I'll take what I can get. It is interesting to be able to see these at the touch of a button as well. I do still find it funny that the level 5 keycard seems to be a tad less expensive in my opinion than the level 4. But who needs keycards when you have tools to simply break things down? I wonder what this sturdy material is. I've yet to encounter any of it. I suppose that'll be something I end up finding in the long run. I also have a few of these empty... Oh, this reinforced iron. I think that I have an idea of where I can obtain some of that. And it's not too far from where I currently am. That wouldn't be a shabby idea. Oh, so I can do things with the rodent tails. I haven't really seen any of them since, and the hearts as well. Perhaps this will come of more use to me than I initially assumed. We can leave you right here for now. An information tablet. I am unaware what you wish. All right then. You can stay there as well. I have another thing in mind of what to go for. I am running out of space as well. But I say that in the same breath I do have plenty of space, just not in this specific section. It does sound to be night. Or perhaps not. I suppose they're simply underneath the building. Having it's all the same. Favorite type of anomaly? Well, that depends on what criteria you're going for. I am quite friendly with 035 in terms of idle chatter, and I'm at this point required to be friendly with 049 as he has adopted me, I suppose. I guess I should refer to him as Dad. And yes, it seems that there is a crafting book, which is granting me some ideas. Mostly ideas of what I'm going to do to this other Foundation site that I had located across the way. Destructive ideas. I'm going to tear this building down for parts. At least hoping to get what I'm after with it. Perhaps I should have brought that book with me. I don't necessarily remember what I was going for in terms of material, but destroying a Foundation site will be fun all the same. You call me little human. I believe that you are incorrect in your description. But yes, 049 is doing well to my knowledge. He also seems to be pleased with Thompson's current fate. It's going to be so nice to be left alone by his nagging for a good long while. I have privileges to go and play little games if I please. Call it enrichment if you will. Helps to keep me sane and from making my own entertainment. I also think that I've taken lights out of this place, so it's quite... Last time I was here I contracted an illness and then promptly had a bad time. Hopefully that won't happen again. But for now these can be tossed aside. Also quite tempting to steal some other things I had left behind. Let's see what you are. Ah, you're a part of the living room, technically. That's unsettling. You're not what I need either. I might have to find my way back to that other site. Although I doubt I'll be able to find it myself. I know what happened here. The same fate that befell the last one that I had encountered. Now I'm looking for some items of value. That might include taking a swing or two at whatever I've locked in here. Ah, so you can be hit. Let's see how long this takes, and if it happens at all. Oh no. Not again. I'm just going to assume that this will be a bad time. I've heard this whispering before, and last time it didn't serve me too well. So I'm going to assume it will not serve me well this time either. I will take my chances with whatever is outside. I have fast little legs and I intend to use them. Whatever is going on, I would like to perish closer to my home. I don't have much hope for what is about to come, but I do know that I will be speedy as speedy can be. I have clearly tampered with forces I shouldn't have, and I feel immediate regret and terror. Ah, and here it comes. Well, at least I'll die on my arrow. I know what's to come. I've contracted an ailment, and now I will die. Very loud ailment this time. Yes, just do it! I know there's no fighting this, so I may as well go out on my own terms. At least I'll know where my things are. I don't know what that disease is, but it happens often when I step foot in these Foundation sites. Off to retrieve my lost items. Tisk, tisk. And there will be a zombie of myself over there. Take care, Task Force. Off to retrieve my items. I really need to avoid contracting whatever that illness is. I have a panic attack and then I die, apparently. That's not exactly the fate I wish for, but at least I know where my things belong. Well, belong is a strong word. I know where they've ended up. They belong in my pocket. I have no idea how to counter whatever that is, though. I just know that it's a problem for me. Perhaps I should start not tampering with things where I continuously get ill. Ah, lovely, lovely. All of my things right in a row. Where are my shoes? No shoes for me anymore? Is that what had been taken off? Ah, no, there they are. All right, then. That is as solved as it will be. At least for the time being. We don't even need to have that on hand, but it does free up an inventory slot. Right. Back to adventuring. Preferably not in that Foundation site specifically. By the gods, that's a nightmare. I believe there's something specifically in there that if I destroy it, my problems will be over. But for now, back on our little stroll. I still am not aware of what you are discussing, personally. But that is not necessarily of my concern. I'd like to find more Foundation sites to raid. Because if there's one thing that I do love about the Foundation, it is how plentiful their resources are for stealing. And potentially obtain more food on the way, I suppose. It would not be a bad idea for me to start forming maps as well. Keep a pointer of things. Ah, and a village. With pumpkins. Now that is also quite handy. I do want to collect up a few of these because there aren't many of them back home. This opens up a new level of food source. Perhaps at some point I should look into how to fend off that ailment. Quite a few pumpkins here, actually. I may as well fill my pockets. I am not unknown for being greedy. And if the local humans don't stop shouting in my ears, then I might take some of them as well. Do you have anything of value to me besides your crops? It would seem not. A grass floor. Not the most sophisticated of building materials, but I did take up residence in a Foundation building. It's not like I've built a home of my own, so am I truly one to judge? Yes, a bit of pumpkin pie would be a nice treat to use these for. It also seems that a boat might be a necessary option as well, given how much water there seems to be. Although I would like to traverse by land for the most part. Foundation sites are always so much more difficult to find when you want them. When I don't want them, it seems that they're prying me out of the woods. Ah, another object of interest. A nice little settlement. Promptly about to be disturbed by yours truly. That is, unless I've been here already, which is also quite possible. More pigs. More locals. What is there? Do any of you have a forge? It would seem not. And a lot of you are of no use to me. You have anything? That's not a terrible deal, I suppose. You may live. Still not what I'm looking for, though. Aren't Aren't you cute little things? Hello there. Yes, the little rabbits are quite cute, aren't they? I see no reason as to harm them, at least right now. I'm not desperate for a meal, and they're quite quick. Maybe luring some back home would be nice, though. I feel like I've wandered quite far at this point to have not found much of anything. Ah, I speak too soon. That should be quite the prosperous endeavor over there. Assuming I don't make a foolish mistake and blow myself sky high. It may not be a foundation building, but it is something. As long as I can put an item in my pocket that will serve me some benefit, that's all I'm truly after. It also sounds as though we have visitors inside. Well, time to be ready to deal with that. Where are you? Ah! This is going bad. You are not the visitor I was hoping for. Keep on sizzling. Haha. Dealt with effectively. There you are. I've been hearing you. Ah. Take care, and in terms of dragons, I do find myself fond of the beasts. Now, safely does it. We needn't have an accident. Would be such a shame to lose everything down here. And that's taken care of. Plain and simple. And an easy exit route to boot. Lovely. Hello, Vanguard. Always a pleasure to see my favorite member of Task Force. Much more of a delight than the others I'm forced to put up with. Seems as though we're only achieving standard things here. A saddle could be useful, though. I wouldn't be opposed to having a pet. Three pets if I can. Not too terrible. Not any Foundation secrets, but I'll take what I can get. Oh, Dad's running amok? Well, I hope he has a great time. Ah, that's lovely. And hello, Mr. Cant. It's good to see you here as well. You know, it's not often that I have interactions with non-Foundation personnel. They're a little worried about what I'll do to them. And truly can one blame them with my reputation. And now that that's over and done with, onwards to see if I can find anything else of use. These skeletons are quite handy if they're going to simply drop their items and keel over. Especially since I've managed to get myself a bow, yet not necessarily crafting. You know, Nyx, it's not wise to air things like that. Can't, I would also prefer you don't encourage such things. My secrets are my own, despite how loud some of them can be. Besides, Nyx, you had it coming. Let us also, for the context of others, remind them of how, before that incident, you had tripped me and then kicked me in the face. I think that that is an important thing to note when referring to how I gave you a little nip. It was technically the ankle, wasn't it? Oh, speckled ones. I would like to have you. You're quite sweet little things, aren't you? It's almost tempting. But no, I am fond of critters. Significantly better than most things I find dwelling outside. Oh yes, because I got you in trouble. Boo-hoo. Did you ever consider that maybe you shouldn't have done... It's the flamingos again. Flamingos and crabs. But as I was saying, have you ever considered that maybe you shouldn't have done the thing that got you in trouble to begin with? I think that would have been quite handy in your own preservation. Ah yes, a level 4 keycard required. Funny enough, I do have one, and I suppose this time around I'll actually use it rather than taking the door out. To exit, you require the level 4 keycard to leave as well. Well, it's a good thing these things can be broken down quite easily. I hear those crabs, but at least I know how to deal with them relatively effectively now. I want you. I don't need another keycard. What are you? Ah, a flashlight. I truly don't need one of you either. I've collected quite a few, and I haven't used any. The paper can stay as well. I believe I could technically put one of my own logs on these screens. I might do that next time around. I will likely need a new weapon for this, though. And it seems as though I haven't brought myself a crafting table. That could pose an issue. We will come back here in a second. Wouldn't want to have an experience like last time, now would we? Although I'd assume some of you would like me to have such a fatal endeavor. I am quite fond of the rabbits. They remind me of Pebble. Especially the little speckly ones. If I came across one that was all black, just like her, that would be even better. Alright. And that should make do. You startled me the way you were walking. Ah, those flamingos are awful, awful creatures, but there is a good amount of supplies in this building, and I know it. A good enough amount of supplies that I'm willing to risk things. Preferably risk things when the sun eventually goes down and I can set my spawn here. I might go a little digging through the floors as well. What are you made of? I am here to... just plain old... The floor is made of floor, as to be expected. Ha ha. I would like to do a bit of mining. And yes, I am vandalizing the foundation. Do you honestly think that I care about the well-being of this site? It's clearly already been destroyed anyway, so it's not like anyone's going to get on my case about it. Oh, those crabs are dreadful. But not as dreadful as those flamingos. They're slow in the water, and water is what they're surrounded by. Alright, at least having access this far down will do me good. Might as well, until that happens. Save me the space. Well, the space until I immediately go and craft a new one. I'm keen on digging some things out. Only the one for now. Don't need to be wasting too much. Yes, it's level 3 access card. How about my level nothing pickaxe? Yes, this material is what I think I'm interested in. Quite a few containment doors in my pocket at this point. Yes, you. Come back. You're slow in the water, but you're fast on land. Come on. Yes, I know. We'll be done with this slowly, as slowly can be. You will take me so much longer than I desire. Alright, come along. Who's next? Terribly slow in the water, which I will use to my advantage, especially at one at a time. Yes, come along. At least I know there's no flamingos down here. I would like to find some of the SCPs that don't immediately wish to eat me, personally. It is a shame that I have to deal with them all so violently. And right on time. Number 3. Come on now. Yes, crunch, crunch. You're significantly more easy to deal with now that I know what to expect. Oh, you got a hit off. Good for you. I've gotten several more than you. And the finishing blow as well. Now I know there's more crabs out there, but this material, I believe, is something that I'm after. Reinforced iron. Yes. Should have brought that book with me. But I can bring at least a stack of this with me, and then we'll see if this is truly what I needed. And this as well. I'm interested to see what you're composed of. Steel. That also sounds as though it'll be useful. Oh, hello. That was obnoxious. But no matter. I might even break into using my iron pickaxe for this if it's going to take this long. Now, ventilation. I don't need that. But I am quite keen on at least seeing how much steel and iron I'm obtaining. I'd like at least a stack of both, because I'm uncertain what I can make with it. And then when I do learn, I could also go into the logs and pick away. Potentially, I could even... What can you be made into? Reinforced iron turns into reinforced steel. Reinforced iron is this. Do you have any other usage other than being pretty? Sturdy chest plate. Ah, an arrow-proof vest. That's not shabby. I believe that there is some level of armor that isn't being shown. But I'm still quite keen on locating. Sturdy. No, it's not you. I'm also unsure of how to get the likes of you. Bladewood Grove leaves. I haven't seen that area. Definitely useful. A lung. Eggs as well. Interesting to note. And I'm assuming these are to spawn certain entities in, which I might look into for, if anything, curiosity's sake. I must be missing something. I could have sworn I had seen information for a different armor set than this. Perhaps listed elsewhere. But we'll simply gain these materials because it is clear that they're quite expensive. Sleep well. And they didn't exactly flood the facility. It's more so that the security was subpar. And the facility facility has since been breached. And now, its bones are being taken advantage of by me. Yes, it is the block game, Dr. Alexander. Excuse me as I decimate the walls of the Foundation. I feel that they'll be of use to me, and it's not like there's anyone else alive to take advantage, so why not have it work for my own sake? I've at least cleared this level out of the damned crabs. I'm quite fond of stealing, personally, especially from the Foundation if I can get away with it. There's a reason that sometimes I have a level 5 access card. This is taking its sweet time, though, since I'm unaware of what I can do with these, but they are quite expensive blocks to make. I'd like to get as many as I can. That also entails taking the time to mine them, which is unfortunately taking quite as long. How did I do in what regards, Vanguard? I did not exactly get out. They are simply allowing me some enrichment time to play little games. And I do like games, so I'll accept it. But it seems in this world that security has fallen off a bit. Every site I've been to has been in severe disrepair, and I'm not exactly keen on helping them fix it up. Quite the opposite, actually. I would much rather help tear this place asunder, just like every creature that's gotten in. Well, gotten in and now subsequently has gotten out. Unfortunately, none of them seem keen on a civil conversation and would much rather bite at me, which leaves me with no choice but to bite back. It is a truly unfortunate situation. But not everything can be helped. Where I'm at is not exactly something that can be disclosed. Yes, unfortunate is what they'd like me to say about this situation. I'm sure you know what my true feelings are, but I do have to keep Foundation eyes happy. But gods above, this is a dull task. Hopefully I've gotten more than enough at this point. One short. Irony. I only wish for a stack of each. And it sounds like it may have fallen to night out here. Which means I can ensure that my death won't set me back too far. Lovely. Actually, what's over this way? I forgot you simply are filled with goodies for me. Are these standard tables? I'd almost be interested to take them as well. More arrows, also handy with dealing with those beasts. And a fresh blade. I just crafted one of these. Oh well. A fresh helmet as well. I might simply trade mine in for that at this point. We'll leave you behind. There we go. And now to prepare to deal with those other crabs. Since I would like to loot this to my fullest extent. At least in terms of items of value. Things that I don't see too frequently. Give myself some dry space. Definitely not opposed to that. Given that I know exactly what lurks behind this door is more damn crabs. Excuse me. There we go. Ah, that's not serving me too well, is it? There we go. That's doing us a bit better. Bit of a puzzle game to avoid creating an infinite source, isn't it? And I must remember that they can fit through this gap, but it's that makes it difficult. Luckily, they're also quite the slow things, at least when in the water. I should honestly be able to handle them as is. But I do like having a speedy escape plan. Alright, one at a time. Shoo! Why are you able to hit me better than I'm allowed to hit you? It feels as though that's a tad unfair, wouldn't you agree? Although I don't think you're sentient enough to agree with anything I say. You're quite far. We'll deal with you instead. Ugh. Long-legged devil. I do have to keep watching my back, though, to ensure more of you don't come up from behind. One of you has effectively disappeared from my line of sight, and I'm not exactly fond of that. I also know for a fact that there will be more of you over here. So we'll make this a little safer for ourselves and ensure that no others of you will get in. Yes, level 4 keycard required. Well, I have a pickaxe. I also do have a level 4 keycard here, as opposed to the level 3 that I standardly have. More of that telekill alloy. That, I have noticed, is quite valuable. Is this really what I've been reduced to? Fighting crabs? Alas. At least it's better than dealing with Dr. Thompson. Whew! Vanguard, you may have noticed Dr. Thompson is in a spot of trouble. I think that I won't have to be dealing with him for quite some time. At least not with the standard. No, you can go in my pocket. That's where I wish for you to be. No, I don't need a key card. Or blank documents, for that matter. Those night vision goggles I've seen. You have served me decently before. Ah, syringes. No, come back. I want you. At this point, it's time to pick sacrifices, it seems. I can actually use this white wall right off the bat, too. Or we can work to get rid of my sword. Nice try, but you're not coming through here. You can slap me, but it won't do you much good. Well, Vanguard, he's... oh, he's going to have a delightful time. Consider him thoroughly dealt with for a while. Ah, and yes, these walls, that's what I'd wanted to mess with. Give myself another standing position. There we go. Another base of operations, if you will. Now, what is on these... No, I'd like that back. What is on these lower shelves? Some of them I can't see all too well. We don't need you. All right. I'm not quite certain to do with those syringes either. I suppose I can abandon these spider eyes. And I'll use this cobble as my next building stone. Maybe. Luck of the Sea also doesn't seem too important, but we'll start sacrificing more as more valuable items come into play. They are surgeon crabs, specifically. Quite a lot of them. Luring them over and dealing with them in a standard operation is my motive at the moment. Oh, you've gotten yourself a bit of a speed boost for a second there. And they can do that because their range of hitting is about, if not better, than mine. They're good at overwhelming you if you're not careful, which is why I like to bottleneck them and force them to deal with me like this. It's a cowardly way, but a way all the same. And besides, I'd rather be known as the coward who survives than the fool that died to crabs. Especially with how quick they can be on land. Let's come along. Another one of you down. And there goes my sword, freeing up another spot in my inventory. I'm glad you are quite slow in the water, though. You're extremely fast on land. I suppose you are right. It is far more tactical. You have kinder words for things than I do, it seems. It's not going to be so fun when I have to deal with those birds again, though. Beggars can't be choosers, though, and I choose to steal. So I can't beg for the mercy of the things left behind. least I bring myself ample food to take care of these. Come along now. How many of you are there? At least 2. It's hard to tell how far they are when they hit you with their slowness. Why did the Foundation insist on keeping so many crabs? That is something I will never know. Oh, a level 2 access card. Well, that's why I have a pickaxe. Yes, I remember this room to some degree now. I would like to be able to do that. I don't remember there being anything of value past here. I remember this I was able to turn on, but I didn't see what it did. But now the deed is done regardless. And I am assuming a significant lack of crabs when I cross this corner. I know there's some inside of there, but up here, no, there's none. Oh, I hear them scurrying. Yes, access card, access card. I have an access card, but I like destroying things. There's our lovely little friends. You know, there's no purpose in causing their pointless end if they can't even get to me here. Live and let live. I will be taking these, though. They have no use for them. Now, off to see what's located in my former colleagues' desks after they had faced their fates of the birds. And watch me fail such a simple jump. Death by bird is not one that I'd want for myself personally, although it is one that I've had. I guess we can take a rest again. Might as well keep less creatures out and about for when we do inevitably decide to leave. Birds. Loud, obnoxious things. They also can be dealt with one at a time, if I must. Okay. A level 1 access card required. Well, I think what I am going to do is called break this door down and then place a block immediately, because I know where this leads. Come along. Hello, hellbirds. You terrifying and awful creatures. Well, we don't need that open. I'd love to lure you over here without touching me personally, but I also would like to not waste arrows. But it's not a waste if I make my shot, is it? There's really no harm in playing it safe, is there? Perhaps it's a tad boring. It is in fact not a map. This is actually how the mod allows this world to generate. This is simply a structure within. I would prefer to have a lack of flamingos, but we cannot get what we want. So I will make there be a lack of flamingos. Specifically ones that wish to eat me. If they could leave well enough alone, then we wouldn't have to have this scuffle, now would we? Luring more of them this way is my best option. Come on. Oh, you are foolish creatures when I know how to deal with you. So desperate to bite. I wonder what 058 would think seeing me decimate the bird population like this. Likely not pleased, but potentially understanding. Come here now. Come along. It's the way it must be. Alright. I'm sure we're at least almost done ridding ourselves of these things. Or perhaps not. I still hear quite a loud sum of them. At least they're tall enough to tend to be able to see over things. Ah. Come on. Oh, don't give in so easily. Maybe give in a little slower than that, but... Ah, I'm losing myself. But not lost enough. With how many of them there are in here, and how quick they are, they do get overwhelming swiftly. So better to bottleneck them and lure them to their ends one at a time. There you are. Come on. Yes, I hear you. Angry as ever. And you can remain angry. But I would like to raid my former co-workers' desks. And you're kind of getting in the way. Now, at this point, I might try a tactical approach from the other end. Although, just as defended. I may remove this, though, just to ensure not too terrible of a problem. Actually, I remember another thing I had done before with this. Please tell me I picked up that button. Yes, I did. Because that will be of far more benefit to me than anything. Alright, where are you, beasts? Oh, one of you's all the way over here. Alright, back around I go, I suppose. I am far more willing to play this safely than anything. Come on. And lovely. Any others on this side? Suppose I've prepped the other area, so if there are, then they can be dealt with. Ah, hello. Come on. Have you given up already, pet? We don't need this to be a big deal. Hello. It's good to see you as well. As of now, I'm... That's not good. Ah. Have we gotten back up? Seems things have disconnected a tad. Oh, and Thompson's here. Alright, would somebody be so kind as to give me a sign if this live is still going? Because it has gotten funky on my end. I'm going to take that as a yes, Vanguard. Hello. That also means that I need to go over here and fix things up on this end. Okay, it is still going. That is good to hear. Then it's just my own connection that kicked me from my own live. Alright, lovely. Thank you, TikTok Studio, for causing me to panic over nothing. Yes, I believe that severe connection issue was the thing. For a moment it said that I completely went offline, which would have been a significantly larger issue. But it also seems that our good friend Dr. Thompson, or should I even call you that anymore, is keeping his head down, as he should. You having fun hiding in your office, Felix? I hope so. Perhaps you'll get a recreation of the slightest bit of terror I've felt being in this place. But knowing you, you might be too vain to even understand that simplicity. I'm willing to play nice as long as you are, Thompson. You should be well aware of that fact. Well, Vanguard, he made me mad. And that's never a wise choice. Because sometimes I know how to deal with the likes of anomalies. And I know there's nothing else of value to me back here, so I don't need to cause ceaseless bloodshed. And that is all I'm looking to obtain from this site. Well, the pull you're looking for isn't exactly me being able to make demotions, but I had some information that the O5 found quite interesting. Interesting enough that our friend Thompson, or should I just call him Felix at this point, got in a little spot of trouble. Such a shame, isn't it? It's nothing but his own actions catching up to him. He really does need to learn his place. So even though I don't necessarily have that type of pull in the technical sense of liars at any time, I do have that level of pull in sharing information. I had no right, how dare you, with how you've treated me. I've had every right, and if anything, I have been more than amicable. I gave you so many chances to simply leave me be. That's all I wanted from you, Thompson, but you couldn't even give me that. A true shame. Speaking of a true shame, I've misplaced my compass, and I do need that. Drat. All right, then I suppose this has become the hunt for redstone. I would not like to call it a proof testing on 049, more so with him. It was a shared endeavor. More so me providing a service than anything. Why did I hear sniffing? Ah, hello. Yes, hello to you as well. You know, I'm much more keen on simply getting what I need and getting out. Iron also being... no, I do have enough of that. Don't dig straight down unless you're going to be very careful, I suppose. Just a spot of redstone is all I need. That's it. And only one piece as well. I don't have to be a fool and go digging. I know exactly where I can get at least one bit of redstone. Oh, foundation, raiding your bones is more delightful than anything. Hello and welcome to this little endeavor. It also seems Thompson has fallen silent. Perhaps he's learning that I did, in fact, have every right to cause that little issue for him. Yes, I know exactly where there is some redstone waiting for me. Yes, the 05 can be temperamental with such things. They are not desirable folks to tamper with. Now, where is you? I have no idea what mechanism you lead to, and actually I might be a bit tempted to find out since we're here. But more than anything, I'd like to see... well, not see, but more so obtain that glorious bit of redstone within your veins. But I am a curious one. Let's see where you go. Perhaps. But I also don't lie about my origin. It's one thing to be a monster within Foundation walls. It's another to try and trick them into thinking you're human. And for as long as Felix has, not the wise choice. You lead to the flamingos. But you keep going, so where else do you lead? That is what I'm interested in. I can't believe that I misplaced my compass. That is quite the important item for me. Boy, this wiring goes on forever, doesn't it? Skittering. Where do you lead? Simply to here. Well, where does this lead? To this door. Well, I suppose I usually just break this door down, so it didn't matter much to me. Well, that was quite the useless endeavor. Anywho, I need this. And what can I toss? Well, I can just put you in my offhand. Lovely. And then I can make use of you. Oh, there's the coward again. Back for seconds, Thompson. What else could I sacrifice? I have extra wood, so I don't need these sticks. And that frees up a hand for this. Though I should also check how late it is. I suppose it doesn't matter. Alright. Now to make my way home. And are there flamingos on this roof? There are not. There were at one of the others. Yes, there's contingencies in place for myself as well. Not delightful, but... well, it's better than being left for dead. Now, by time I make it back home, I believe that is where my fun for the night will end, at least for the time being. It does feel so good to have one up on him finally, after how long he's been pestering me senselessly over every little moral failing he dares to observe. You know, I wonder if I'll end up missing it. At this point, I might accidentally start thinking that I'm hearing banging on my door. Ah, my favorite. A bold assumption. But I suppose that I won't put it past you. You haven't caused me any problems, so you're closer to favor than most. Well, you see, that sort of device wouldn't do so well for them in me. There are heavy-duty tranquilizers on site, though. Those are something that I'm not fond of. If there's no universe, then there is no me, and what do I care at the end of the day? Call me a bit pessimistic, if you will. Vanguard, please tell me you are still trying to keep those under wraps. Preferably out of the hands of general security, at least. I'm not too fond of those either. They have left a nasty sting. Terrible things. I prefer not even alerting them. Oh, boo-hoo. They've taken things of mine as well. You'll likely get it back eventually. You're such a good little pet. Oh. Forging things to ethics. Very appreciated. Active or quiet methods of dealing with others and who I would fear more? Well, the loud ones you always see coming. Silence is much more difficult to anticipate, so I'd prefer ones that voice what's about to come. I'd rather know my fear than be stuck anxious about it. And you know, Thompson, they might take that thing as a weapon as well. They can't exactly have you locked up with such a thing. And isn't it quite capable of unlocking doors as well? You see, it's quite the oxymoron to have you in a cell that you can open. Hello. Welcome to my little enrichment session and more bashing of my dear friend, Dr. Thompson. Or should I just say, Felix Thompson? Well, you can use it for whatever you wish, but if they've deemed it unsafe, well, you're not getting it back until they've changed their mind. They've taken my necklace before, Thompson. Taking that is far from being unstandard. But you never learn. Enjoy being treated like a pet, at least more so than I currently get to be. Using the what? I'm afraid I do not know what you're referring to. I hope I start seeing my little dirt arrow soon. Enjoy your effort of chaos. Well, Thompson, do you think they're going to believe you? You've been lying to them. Why would they ever trust what you're saying until they've properly assessed what you even are? It's oh, it's funny, really. For such a clever man who always puts my doctorate into scrutiny, you would think you'd be wise enough to understand these things. Perhaps it's a level of street smarts versus book smarts. I have had to tend to myself longer than you have. Always kept in the lap of luxury. Yes, who knows it better than you? And you're just as capable of simply lying. It doesn't matter if they want to believe you. It matters if they can. Ah, hello. You are also of use. Ah, and that redstone that I could have used earlier. I will take... Ah! A pet in the future, I see. What can I toss? I suppose I don't need this anymore, and I would like that saddle as well. String doesn't hold much use to me either. And another saddle. Well, the bones do have a use to me, unfortunately. And I can always get more wood, so I suppose that I will leave that be and take a saddle. And I suppose that I could abandon this old pickaxe for some horse armor. Lovely. Creating an AI with sentience tends to not go too well for humanity. And despite my opinions on the Foundation, I do rely on humanity's continued existence. So I'd prefer that you didn't go that route. Ah. Well, I hope the little one sleeps well. I forgot I've left raptors in there, and something else that gives me ailments. But I am almost home. And I don't even truly need the compass anymore at this point. I hope that I simply dropped it off in one of my chests. That would be much better than if I completely lost it. Hello, swine. Well, as long as it doesn't become a direct issue for me, I guess I don't truly care what you do. There's always worse things. Ah, and speaking of worse things, the foundation that I have to call home. Hello, you hell site. Then I can finally set aside everything I've gained and call it a night. Anything else in here that would fit into this chest? Actually... no, I don't have more space in there. I've used to... Why do I hear what sounds to be a skeleton in my living quarters? I don't travel this way often. Ah! Hello. You can stay living there. Whatever goes on in that wing can mind its own business. I don't believe that I was ever assigned that paperwork, sir. You'll have to excuse my lateness. Oh no, I've made a mistake. I've opened a wing that I shouldn't have. If I eat one of these pills now, will my sanity return? Oh no, and this is going to be bad. I haven't slept here yet. Oh no. No, this is gonna be bad. I would really like to know how to stop that from happening. Oh, it's so early as well. And that means I'm going to lose my compass. We may as well spare my things. The bed was also destroyed, though, so it might just put me in my normal spawn. Yes, I know. I'm losing my mind and I'm getting sick. Yes, I hear you. Ah, yes, I accept death. Take me now. Go on. I know what's coming. Say a prayer, cross your fingers, pick a god. And there it goes. Well, at least I'm back here. Yes, bed missing or obstructed, which means I know how to get back. Well, that was... I really just need to lock down that ward of the Foundation, don't I? Or do some offhand studying of how to deal with that. Because it truly is going into that sector that causes it, it seems. Hello. Yes, I know. You were once me. You're not even that much of a problem. You're simply a nuisance. Yay. I swear, I need to lock down that wing of the Foundation. Just never touch it again. It seems that no matter what I do, something in there causes me a problem. Like I've awoken some ancient curse. Hello, birds. I will also tend to you. and my sheep. I think 4 of you is enough, since I only use you for wool. I also might wish to throw these while in here. Haha, you don't get to leave. If I'm not allowed to leave, neither are you. Oh, thank you. Create more birds, please. Lovely. How much in the seed department will we have? Alright. What little tippy taps you're making. Alright, dears. There we go. Create more birds. That is all I desire of you. A steady food supply. This is my enrichment time. I'm allowed to play games as of now. They say if it keeps me from causing true problems, that it's all right. Well, the birds can be annoying, but they also are providing me with sustenance, which negates irritation. Now to reconvene my things that I have put away. Actually, you. You had given me information of some things that I was interested in at one point. Ah, yes, some of you. Your steel blocks and that. What are you? A police baton. Interesting. Magnetized block. Unsure what to do with you. Office furniture type. A cooler. Intriguing. A document crafter. That's also quite interesting, and I have what it takes to make him. Yes, document crafter again. I don't know why that's listed twice. I had seen something that appeared to be an armor class before as I was scrolling through that used some of those reinforced items. And I'd like to learn more about that. Access cards. More trinket-like items. A baton. I've yet to see scraps of paper. Now where starting to hit more tool-based items, so hopefully soon I will see, or not. You, reinforced iron. I think I can afford to make that. A glass pane I should also be able to obtain. But let's take a look into that, actually. Steel, that's not what I'm looking for. Reinforced iron. And where had I left that glass? I know I'd cooked some up. Let's see how good this serves me. For such an expensive block, I'd hope this will be better than what I'm currently wearing. Let me see. It looks like it is, at least by a bit. I will take it, even if it forces me to be dressed akin to a member of task force. I'm not using SCPs for non-test related materials. I've been granted permission to have enrichment time. If anything, this is them keeping an SCP in line. I at least find where I'd left my foodstuffs. Well, you I'd also like to have back in my pocket. There we go. I suppose the rest of you can be abandoned at this point. And we'll keep these on hand. I might have to go take out some more pigs at some point. It does seem that we're running a tad low in that department. But I would rather not be, but the armor is substantially better than what I have. Actually, let's see. It's still day. How close to night? Not very close at all. So I suppose, regardless, this might be where my fun ends for the night. I hope that the lot of you do take care. Minus Dr. Thompson, for personal reasons. I would still like to watch him squirm a bit more under the Foundation's watchful eye. Oh, you are still here. Good for you. It's almost comical.